Milan has long been called the world's fashion capital. Yet what makes it truly magnetic isn't only the glamorous catwalks of Prada, Armani, or Versace. The essence of Milanese fashion is written on its sidewalks, where ordinary people turn the streets into open-air galleries of elegance. In Milan, style is not a show reserved for the privileged few. It is woven into daily life, connecting the city's glorious past, its vibrant present, and its ever-inventive future. The roots of this identity stretch deep into history. During the Renaissance, Milan thrived as a hub of textiles and craftsmanship, producing silks, embroidery, and fabrics that traveled across Europe. That heritage still whispers in the way a coat is cut with precision or in the crisp fold of a white shirt. To be Milanese is to understand that clothing is never just protection against the weather. It is a sign of culture, refinement, and respect for beauty. By the 20th century, Milan had become the beating heart of Italian design. The 1960s ushered in a wave of sleek modernism, while the 1980s introduced power suits and bold silhouettes, shaped by visionaries like Armani, who redefined sophistication. The streets mirrored these transformations. By day, professionals marched in tailored suits. By night, students experimented with denim, sneakers, and rebellion. Every shift in society left its trace on the sidewalks. Today, the city is a living dialogue between generations. In Breda, or along the Navigli canals, you might pass a young creative in oversized trousers and chunky sneakers, only to cross paths moments later with an elder gentleman in a sharply tailored coat, polished loafers, and a scarf tied with effortless grace. Together, they form a chorus of voices, each outfit responding to another, blending tradition with youthful invention. Architecture also shapes Milan's style. The contrast of Roman ruins, Renaissance cathedrals, and futuristic glass towers becomes a silent backdrop for fashion. Just as the Duomo's marble stands against modern steel, clothing here balances craftsmanship with innovation. Structured blazers echo the geometry of buildings. flowing dresses drift like water along canals, and bold sneakers pop against centuries-old cobblestones. Milan's diversity adds another layer. Students, artists, and entrepreneurs from around the globe bring their cultures to the streets. African prints meet Italian tailoring, Asian minimalism fuses with casual chic, Latin American vibrancy sparkles through accessories. Rather than erasing Milanese identity, these influences enrich it, proving that the city style thrives not on uniformity, but on harmony. Seasons rewrite the wardrobe like chapters in a novel. Winter demands layered elegance, cashmere coats, leather gloves, and boots sturdy enough for damp stone, yet polished enough for the opera. Spring brightens with linen blazers and pastel dresses, while summer calls for airy shirts, skirts, and sunglasses that radiate casual glamour. Autumn, perhaps the most Milanese of seasons, returns to earthy tones, structured outerwear, and fabrics that mirror the golden light of the city. Accessories, too, are central to Milanese expression. Sunglasses are not just practical, but statements of attitude. Handbags, often crafted in family workshops, speak louder than entire outfits. Watches remain understated but luxurious, while shoes, whether loafers, heels, or sneakers, are never an afterthought. In Milan, footwear is the anchor of identity, the punctuation mark of style. Even global streetwear finds its place here, but always with refinement. Hoodies are layered under camel coats, sneakers paired with tailored trousers, logos kept subtle rather than loud. Rebellion itself becomes edited, filtered through the Milanese instinct for proportion and polish. Ultimately, Milan's street style is more than clothing. It is culture, memory, and identity. It honors history while embracing innovation, values quality over quantity, and celebrates individuality within community. To walk through Milan is to witness a living lesson that fashion here is not about chasing trends, but about carrying yourself with elegance, purpose, and authenticity. Fashion in Milan is not just about fabric and design. It is about rhythm. The rhythm of mornings, when the smell of espresso fills narrow streets and workers head to their offices in carefully chosen blazers and pressed trousers. Even when rushing, there is intention. In this city, dressing well is a form of self-respect and a courtesy to others. By midday, students emerge from universities with tote bags full of books, wearing vintage denim and fresh sneakers, an effortless mix of practicality and experimentation. As evening falls, the Navigli district glows with the soft lights of aperitivo, where coats are draped across cafe chairs and jewelry sparkles against the golden sunset. Every hour of the day writes a new chapter in Milan's living fashion diary.
Grande stacchi stretto sacco, schioppo in spalla, sciabla a fianco, collo dritto, muso franco, un gran casco, un gran turbante, molto onor, poco cantante, poco cantante, poco cantante.
Generations deep in this story, older Milan citizens embody refinement shaped by decades of tradition. Wool coats, leather gloves, silk scarves tied without thought. For them, elegance is a habit, not an act. Younger generations, however, approach fashion as experimentation. They push boundaries with oversized silhouettes, playful prints, and digital-inspired looks. Yet, even in their rebellion, you can sense the Milanese discipline for proportion and harmony. This intergenerational dialogue keeps the city alive, tradition grounding the future, and youth injecting freshness into history.
Narcisetto ad uncino d'amor, che robino alla vittoria, alla gloria militar, che robino alla vittoria, alla gloria militar, alla gloria militar, alla gloria militar.
Art and design pulse directly into fashion here. Milan is not only home to Fashion Week, but also to the Salone del Mobile, one of the world's most important design fairs. The geometry of architecture, the minimalism of furniture, the bold colors of modern art all flow into what people wear. A sharply cut coat might echo the lines of a skyscraper in Porta Nuova. A patterned dress might mirror mosaics inside the Duomo. In Milan, clothing is not separate from art, it is its extension, another medium for creativity. The city's role as an international hub ensures constant renewal. Designers, stylists, photographers, and artists from all over the world leave their mark on its streets. It is common to see a Japanese kimono paired with Italian boots, or an African-inspired print worn under a European trench coat. Instead of diluting identity, this fusion strengthens it. Milan absorbs global influences and filters them through its lens of elegance, creating something uniquely its own. Seasonal events shape the mood too. During Christmas, when the city glows with lights, velvet dresses and shimmering coats appear on the streets. In spring, fashion mirrors blossoms with soft fabrics and pastel tones. Summer brings linen shirts, wide-brimmed hats, and sunglasses that embody casual glamour. Autumn, perhaps the truest season for Milan, paints the city with earthy hues and structured outerwear, creating a harmony between fashion and the golden atmosphere of the streets. Luxury brands are undeniably part of Milan's DNA. Names like Gucci, Prada, and Dolce & Gabbana echo through its avenues. But here, luxury is never worn as excess. A Prada coat might be balanced with secondhand denim. An Armani suit might be grounded by sneakers. True Milanese elegance lies not in showing wealth, but in mastering balance, mixing the refined with the simple, the new with the vintage, the bold with the subtle. Vintage itself plays a special role. Markets and small boutiques offer treasures that carry history. A leather bag with patina, a watch with a quiet story, a tailored jacket whose seams have seen decades. Wearing vintage in Milan is not nostalgia, it is continuity. It reflects the belief that quality endures and style is timeless. This mindset aligns with the city's growing commitment to sustainability. Fewer items, but better chosen. Garments repaired instead of discarded. Recycled fabrics reimagined as luxury. In Milan, responsibility and elegance walk hand in hand. Music and subcultures have left their mark as well. Jazz, hip-hop, and electronic scenes all shape the way you dress. Bomber jackets, graphic tees, and metallic fabrics filter into the street. But again, always with restraint. Milan refines global influences, making them its own. Even sports culture, football pride in AC Milan or Inter jerseys, cycling heritage seen in slim trousers and messenger bags, intertwines with everyday fashion, proof that style in Milan belongs to everyone, not just the elite. Tourists often notice something unique in Milan. Fashion feels natural. People don't dress to impress strangers. They dress because it is part of who they are. Clothing here is a language, a quiet conversation about identity, belonging, and care. This understated confidence is magnetic, and many visitors leave not just with photographs, but with inspiration to rethink their own wardrobes. The Milanese philosophy of dressing can be distilled into a few timeless principles. Fit is everything. Quality matters more than quantity. Colors should be curated, and individuality must shine. A well-made wardrobe doesn't require endless pieces. It requires imagination in combining them. Milan teaches that style is not about chasing every trend. It is about knowing yourself and expressing that knowledge with elegance. Looking toward the future, Milan stands at the frontier of change. Digital fashion, augmented reality fitting rooms, and AI-driven design are no longer distant ideas, but present realities. Imagine walking into a boutique where you try on clothes virtually, or buying digital outfits for online spaces while still cherishing handmade garments at home. Milan proves that tradition and technology are not rivals, they are partners. The soul of the city will always return to its foundations: tailoring, craftsmanship, and balance. Above all, Milani street style reflects humanity. It is a diary written in fabrics, colors, and shapes, recording economic shifts, cultural movements, and personal identities. It tells stories of prosperity through luxury, of uncertainty through minimalism, of diversity through fusion. And it reminds us, every day, that fashion is not merely what we wear, but how we live. In the end, Milan whispers a timeless lesson. Style is not about spectacle. It is about authenticity. It is about walking through the world with intention, whether in a perfectly cut suit or in a simple sweater. As long as people step onto these streets with creativity and confidence, Milan will remain not just a capital of fashion, but a capital of style. Beyond luxury stores and Fashion Week runways, Milan's true identity lives in the routines of ordinary families. Walk through a Sunday market and you will see parents guiding children dressed with care. Small leather shoes, tiny coats with perfect tailoring, simple sweaters that echo timeless refinement. In Milan, style is taught from childhood. Clothing is part of education, a silent lesson in presentation and self-respect. Teenagers raised in this culture grow into young adults who appear effortlessly stylish, not because they chase trends, but because taste has been nurtured naturally from an early age. Workers also shape the city's street style in quiet but powerful ways. Delivery riders in bold jackets, tram drivers in neat uniforms, artisans leaving workshops in worn denim aprons all add texture to Milan's fashion landscape. These clothes are not chosen for glamour, but they still reflect the Milanese spirit of neatness and pride. In this city, even utility becomes stylish. Fashion is not reserved for the elite. It belongs equally to baristas, shop assistants, craftsmen, and students. Together, they weave a democratic vision of elegance. Independent designers have become essential to this fabric. Away from the spotlight of global brands, small ateliers experiment with recycled textiles, handcrafted jewelry, and avant-garde silhouettes. They sell in local markets, online platforms, or directly through their own studios, blurring the line between creator and consumer. Their designs embody the democratic side of Milanese fashion. Style is not owned by luxury houses, but thrives in the imagination of ordinary citizens. This grassroots creativity challenges norms and injects freshness into the city's DNA. Nightlife unveils another dimension. As dusk settles, the streets transform into playgrounds for bold expression. Clubs in Porta Venezia or Corso Como attract crowds in sequins, metallic fabrics, sharp leathers, and futuristic cuts. Outfits here sparkle under neon and strobe lights, designed to stand out. Yet, even amidst extravagance, the Milanese instinct for proportion prevails. Nighttime fashion dares, but never loses balance. The after-dark scene proves that style in Milan is not fixed. It reinvents itself with every beat of music. Economically, street style itself has become an industry. Outside fashion shows, photographers and influencers crowd sidewalks, capturing images that will circulate across magazines, blogs, and social media. Local cafes, boutiques, and hotels benefit from this visibility, as sidewalks generate as much attention as the runways themselves. Street fashion has become both culture and commerce, turning Milanese citizens into unwitting ambassadors of the city's soft power. Technology accelerates this phenomenon. Social media platforms amplify looks spotted on the streets within hours, spreading inspiration worldwide. Yet, beyond Instagram and TikTok, new tools are reshaping fashion in Milan. Augmented reality allows digital fittings. Artificial intelligence suggests combinations aligned with Milanese aesthetics. And digital tailoring ensures garments achieve precision before they are even stitched. Technology does not replace craftsmanship here, it enhances it. The future of Milanese style may live in both fabric and pixels, but its essence remains: elegance shaped by intention. Sustainability has become not just a trend, but a philosophy. Flea markets are crowded, secondhand shops thrive, and clothing swaps between friends are common. Many Milanese now embrace visible repairs as a badge of care rather than imperfection. Designers experiment with biodegradable fabrics, organic fibers, and inventive recycling techniques. The new luxury is not defined by excess, but by responsibility. Milan teaches the world that elegance can coexist with ethics, that to care for the planet is itself a form of refinement. Immigrant communities enrich this identity further. North African influences appear in flowing garments and bold jewelry. Asian aesthetics bring layered minimalism. Latin American traditions add vibrancy and rhythm to patterns and colors. These cultural notes blend seamlessly with Italian classics, creating hybrids that feel uniquely Milanese. A student may wear a traditional African head wrap with a European coat, or an Asian-inspired silk dress paired with handmade Italian leather shoes. Diversity here is not disruption, it is evolution. Above all, individuality is the unifying theme. Milan is a city where people resist being replicas of one another. Minimalists, maximalists, rebels, and traditionalists all walk side by side. Some whisper their story in monochrome, others shout it through bold colors and experimental shapes. But together, they form a chorus of expression. Sidewalks, tram stops, piazzas, all become galleries where fashion is the language of dialogue. This dialogue is deeply humanistic. Fashion in Milan is not about domination, but about conversation. A tailored suit speaks to a pair of sneakers. A vintage dress converses with a futuristic jacket. Youth exchanges ideas with age. Each outfit becomes a word in a sentence, and the streets themselves become paragraphs in an endless story. Looking ahead, Milan may pioneer virtual fashion districts, where people stroll through digital neighborhoods wearing augmented reality garments. It may lead global sustainability efforts, proving that luxury and responsibility can merge. It may inspire designers across continents to see fashion not just as material, but as philosophy. Ultimately, Milan's greatest lesson is that style is not performance. It is a way of living. One of the most fascinating aspects of Milanese fashion is how it interacts with architecture. The city itself is a stage where marble, glass, and stone converse silently with fabric and silhouette. The Gothic grandeur of the Duomo, with its endless spires, invites echoes in sharp tailoring and vertical lines. The sleek glass towers of Porta Nuova inspire minimalist cuts, futuristic fabrics, and clean geometry in clothing. Along the Navigli canals, soft dresses and flowing coats mirror the water's reflection, creating movement that feels almost choreographed. In Milan, buildings and clothing are not separate. They are part of the same visual dialogue. Markets and public squares deepen this exchange. In Porta di Cinesi or Brera, fashion is alive not only in boutiques, but also in street stalls, vintage stands, and artisan displays. Scarves hand-woven by local makers, leather belts shaped by traditional tools, or jewelry designed by emerging artists all contribute to a living ecosystem of style. Shoppers here are not only buying clothes, they are collecting inspiration, experimenting with identity, and feeding the city's cycle of creativity. Gender and identity also find powerful expression in Milan streets. Men wear elegance without hesitation, slim trousers, finely tailored coats, subtle jewelry. Women blend power and grace, commanding blazers paired with fluid dresses, heels balanced by bold sneakers. Non-binary and queer communities enrich the scene with fearless experimentation, mixing codes of masculinity and femininity, bending conventions, and proving that fashion is ultimately about freedom. In Milan, sidewalks become platforms for inclusion, empowerment, and the celebration of individuality. Education fuels this constant reinvention. Milan is home to world-renowned fashion schools like Istituto Marangoni and Politecnico di Milano, which attract students from every corner of the globe. These young talents treat the streets as laboratories, testing prototypes, styling experiments, and daring combinations. Every corner of the city becomes a classroom, where creativity is worn rather than written. In this way, Milan trains not just future designers, but also future storytellers of style. Attention to detail is perhaps the Milanese signature. Outsiders may notice the overall elegance of an outfit, but locals understand that perfection lies in subtleties. The stitching of a lapel, the curve of a shoe, the weight of a button, or the knot of a scarf. Accessories embody this philosophy. Watches chosen for craftsmanship rather than flashiness, handbags with quiet patina that grows more beautiful with time, sunglasses that balance proportion with precision. These details are not decoration, they are a language of care, patience, and refinement. Sports, too, have left their imprint on Milan's look. Football, a central passion of the city, shows up in subtle yet stylish ways. AC Milan or Inter jerseys, paired with luxury sneakers, tailored jackets thrown casually over athletic wear. Cycling culture, born from daily commutes, inspires slim-fit trousers, breathable fabrics, and messenger bags designed for movement without losing style. In Milan, athletic pride doesn't clash with elegance, it merges with it, creating a fashion vocabulary that is both dynamic and chic. The rhythm of events ensures that Milan's street style never stagnates. During Saloni del Mobile, the world's design elite arrive, filling the streets with architectural silhouettes, conceptual outfits, and experimental textures. Film festivals add cinematic glamour to evening looks, while cultural celebrations bring traditional garments infused with modern twists. Each event is a spark, pushing the city's creativity into new directions while keeping it anchored in elegance. Comparisons often arise. Paris has romance, London thrives on rebellion, New York pulses with energy. But Milan is about balance. It blends the discipline of tailoring with the warmth of Mediterranean life. It shows that fashion need not shout to be heard, that whispers of refinement can be louder than spectacle. This is Milan's quiet power. It teaches the world that elegance is not about extravagance, but about coherence, proportion, and authenticity. Finally, Milan's fashion philosophy rests on memory. Many garments here carry personal history: a grandfather's coat, a scarf inherited from a mother, shoes repaired rather than discarded. These pieces are not just material, they are living archives carrying stories across generations. To wear them is to honor the past while breathing life into the present. Fashion in Milan is not disposable, it is enduring, a thread connecting memory, identity, and pride. Food culture intertwines with fashion in Milan in subtle but profound ways. Just as a plate of aperitivo is carefully balanced, colors arranged, flavors measured, so too are Milanese outfits. Dining here is not only about nourishment, but about presentation, and this philosophy spills into clothing. During aperitivo hours in Naviglio, you see coats resting elegantly on chairs, silk scarves glowing in candlelight, jewelry reflecting glasses of wine. The art of eating and the art of dressing share the same discipline: refinement without excess, harmony without rigidity. Travel and global exchange continually refresh the city's wardrobe. As a hub for business, design, and tourism, Milan absorbs foreign influences while exporting its own elegance. A Japanese executive may bring minimalism that blends seamlessly with Italian tailoring. An American student may return home with an appreciation for neutral palettes and precision cuts. This porous exchange ensures that Milan remains at the center of global imagination, not only a destination, but a source of inspiration that ripples outward. Climate and urban change also leave their mark. With greener policies, bike lanes, and pedestrian areas expanding, functionality has become essential. Backpacks crafted from recycled fabrics, trench coats designed to resist sudden rain, sneakers engineered for comfort yet sharp enough for elegance. These pieces reflect a city adapting to modern life while refusing to compromise on style. In Milan, practicality never overshadows beauty. It transforms into another form of it. Religion and ritual also influence fashion choices in quiet yet powerful ways. On Sundays, churchgoers dress with respect, blending conservative codes with personal touches. During holidays, garments rich with symbolism emerge, traditional, meaningful, and often inherited. Clothing in these moments becomes more than fabric. It becomes ritual, connecting community and faith. This spiritual layer reminds us that in Milan, fashion can hold sacred value, bridging the material with the transcendent. Milan's resilience is stitched into its style. The city has endured wars, crises, and global shifts, yet its citizens always return to elegance. After scarcity, creativity flourished, garments repurposed, fabrics reinvented. During economic booms, luxury reigned, but never without moderation. Even during recent global challenges, Milani's citizens continue to dress with intention, proving that fashion here is not vanity, but identity, a way of showing perseverance through appearance. Street style here is ultimately storytelling. Every person is both author and reader, crafting a narrative through clothing. Some stories whisper of tradition, others shout rebellion. Some blend global influences, while others remain proudly local. The streets become endless pages, written anew each morning when people step outside. Milan proves that fashion is not costume, but culture, not vanity, but voice.